The last time I did any sort of video on a factory game was back in 2023 in July, and you can clearly see it wasn't a positive look. The last time I was consistently uploading any sort of factory game was back in October of 2022, which is now coming up to 3 years since we really had any sort of consistent factory game to play. However, today we are looking into a brand new factory game which will hopefully revitalise the factory series of games. So far we don't have any sort of official name from what I have seen, so throughout this video I'll be referring to it as Orb Factory, and you will see why in a little while. So sit back, relax, let's take a deep dive into this upcoming project through the leaks, news and my hopes for the game. Okay, so as you saw by the title and of course the intro, we have a brand new factory game to look at today. And as you guys know, back in the day, the Sword Factory X series and the Sword Factory series really were what kind of brought my channel to what it is today, and kind of like bolstered it up ready for MS2 and all that kind of stuff. So realistically, in terms of how this game has been for my channel, it is looking very, very exciting for not only my channel, but just in the whole project itself, because yeah, it's super good. I really like the factory kind of games. So yeah, basically what we're going to be doing in today's video is looking at some of the leaks from the developers, some news and things like that. We'll probably look into a little bit of the dev team as well, and of course some things that I would hope to see in the game as well. So yeah, let's get straight into what we're going to be looking at today. So we are over here back on Discord, and this is actually going to be the particular Discord server. So if you want to see any of these leaks for yourself, get any of the live news for this upcoming project, and also get to chatting to some people in the whole community as well, I will leave the Discord link down below in the comments and in the description as well, so you guys can go ahead and get yourselves ready and prepared for this game. However, we're straight here right in the devs leaks, and as you can see, we're going to be starting off with just this one right here. Now, it's not going to be really showing off too much, however you can see, basically it's kind of bringing back the old kind of look, how we all used to know what these kind of things used to look like, with that block and stuff. However, you can see it's not a pickaxe, it's not a sword, it's nothing like that. It's actually some sort of orb. Now that is why I'm going to be calling it Orb Factory throughout today's video, is because it looks super cool right there. However, we will get into a little bit later on of some of the actual models for these orbs, and they look absolutely amazing. But yeah, you can see the amount of XP it might give you if you sell it, the amount of value, some of the enchants there with power and healing, the amount of kills you get with it, the usual timer as well that you get with it when it's about to sell and stuff like that. You can see the kind of mold that it'll be in. So this one looks like it'll be a wood core. You can see some other stuff up here as well in the top right, like medium plus, rough and E plus. Not too sure exactly what these could be. Maybe it'll be the class, the quality, and I'm not too sure what this E plus could be. Maybe that could be another version of another quality as well. You can see the chance of it as well, and also the level, and it's currently in an auto re-enchanter, which is really cool as well. So overall, very cool. You can see as well that the actual money will be called matter as well, which is really cool, and you can have selected enchants. However, of course, this one's unknown right now. I believe these leaks were from, well, over a month ago now, so the game has come a long way. You can see in this one as well that you can actually select specific enchants like strength or resistance, and it says it costs there 1 matter, I believe that will be. But yeah, really interesting looking leaks so far. If we move down, we have some of the leaderboard frames. Obviously nothing really much to look at right now because there is no leaderboard people on there, because the game obviously isn't out right now. However, these look pretty clean, pretty nice as well, and look like they will fit into any map really, so that's really nice. We have one of our first map leaks as well. This is called the desert map. Now this looks really clean, really nice. We have a waterfall over in the distance. We've got some really nice orange area, which for me will be a nice little kickback to the orange top hat that we used to have. So that could be a nice little area for me personally, for nostalgia reasons. But it does look really cool. Doesn't look like it's going to be a massive area, so it doesn't really seem like we're going to be you know, like jumping from right here and having to walk miles and miles away to kind of find like a boss or anything like that. But again, it looks really cool. You can see off in the right hand side as well that we do have some sort of snowy area as well, which again Could be retextured in the future, you never know. It might just be a placeholder right now, but it does seem like we might be getting some sort of snowy area in the future, which is really, really nice as well. Moving on, we have the Ascender model, potentially. 2 question marks right there, I believe by Jovan, and this looks really, really nice. Typically, when we do get the Ascender, it is like some sort of big, massive square with like a kind of like plot on it to put down your like sword or something like that, and then a big, massive screen with like, you know, you upgrade your mold and all that kind of stuff. However, this one looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit simpler. In terms of like how you may potentially use it, and also just a lot smaller as well, so it could fit really a lot better into the actual map instead of just being this big huge dome kind of thing. But again, it looks really, really cool. Maybe these different kind of like vial things on the sides will light up a specific colour depending on which one you are actually using. Say you're upgrading the mold, it might turn blue. If you're doing the class, it'll turn green and stuff like that. That'll be really, really cool, unless each one of these has like a specific like kind of upgrade to them, so you'll only see one of them light up and maybe one of them starts like kind of having some sort of juice going through it. But again, yeah, it looks really, really clean. This little thing down in the middle as well will probably be where you actually put down your orbs. Again, it looks really, really cool. Hopefully we'll see some sort of UI for the Ascender screen soon, because I'm really excited to see how this will actually look. In terms of how I hope this would actually look, maybe it could be some sort of like, instead of just having the upgrade mold, upgrade thing, upgrade, maybe it could like have something else on there. I'm not really too sure specifically in my head, but it would be like kind of like nice to see a little bit more of like a little bit more complex for the Ascender rather than just having the upgrade stuff on there, but we'll have to see in the future. There is some sort of admin panel there, however, of course, it looks like it's just some sort of joke Ascender, as you can see there with the rarity, the class, the enchant level and grade and all that kind of stuff. However, we're getting into some of the big stuff now, and this is our first look at potentially the lobby for the game. Now we have our standard stuff over here, like the conveyor and the different little stations for each part of the orb, probably starting with the mold, then like the quality, the class, the level, the enchant, and then the rarity. Looks pretty straightforward so far, however it does look really, really cool. However, on a whole of this lobby, it looks really, really cool indeed. Now, it will be interesting to see where the spawn is for this lobby, most likely because I do believe people wouldn't exactly like to be going up and down the stairs and stuff like that constantly, if you are spawning in and then like kind of changing the levels and stuff, of like kind of, you know, the times 6 look or whatever it is, if that actually is in the game. However, it will be very, very interesting to see how the Ascender, well, not the Ascender, the conveyor works overall, because it does look really, really cool. The whole map looks really, really cool. Looks like we have a massive dome over the top of us. If you do remember back to Sword Factory X, that also had a dome. However, it was more like a holographic dome, which wasn't really too big. However, this one looks absolutely massive. So we're going to see, hopefully we'll see a bit more of the lobby soon. And you can see here as well, in the night time, again, you get a little bit of a better look at the dome overall. It looks absolutely huge. This little thing, well, I say little, this big glowing thing in the background looks really, really cool as well. This massive arch maybe might lead to the Ascender or to the auto re-enchanter and stuff like that. Again, it looks really, really cool. Maybe at the bottom of these stairs, because you can see some sort of circle, this might be where the spawn area is to go between different maps, which I think would be really, really nice. Instead of like kind of having to come up and down from the spawn, potentially that could be a better idea. But yeah, looks really, really cool right there. Now moving down, if you guys do remember back to Sword Factory X and some of the really, really cool models, they were made by Quad Farquad, and he is back once again with some insane models. Now this one right here is basically what the kind of like orb train thing will look like for the conveyor. So instead of it actually being some sort of conveyor, the orb will actually like kind of spawn in on this little train to go through each of the like individual sections of the conveyor. So that looks really, really cool right there. Again, right here, this looks like potentially either the Ascender screen, because it does look like it has some sort of like similar size, and this is something I would really, really look forward to if this was the Ascender screen. Or it could also be part of the conveyor, maybe also some part of like maybe the auto re-enchanter. However, just basing it on what we can see right here, maybe this will be some sort of Ascender screen, Looks really cool though there. As you can see, class confirmed, useless, has an 88% confidence chance, I guess. It was powerful as well with an 80% chance, considerable with an 83% chance. So I'm not too sure exactly how this would work, where this would be, but again, it looks really cool, sort of more like a kind of like a retro or sort of like a top secret kind of screen, I guess you would say, something that the spies may potentially use, but it does look really cool overall, and I really like that. Moving down now, we have actually gotten some of the videos, so let's get those videos loaded up and let's have a look at how good this game really looks. So we have the first video right here right now, and as you can see, this is basically how things will spawn in on the conveyor, including the train that we saw before. You can see the train in the background there. You can also see something on the left here which may potentially be a new orb model. However, you can see, yeah, basically it spawns in, it travels in like so, and then you can see this little thing up here, this little screen actually shows you the timer of how long it will be in the specific section of the conveyor. And for the model, or for the like mold, basically this big hammer comes down, presses it down, and as you can see there, that pretty much looks exactly like the thing that we see on the left. So this looks like some sort of gold mold, which looks really cool. But yeah, you can see, and then it goes on to the next section, but it looks really cool how you can see basically each part of like the orb being made, and overall it looks very cool. The whole models, the kind of like the smoke coming down, you can see as well the shine as it just comes down to hit it. The orb starts shining as it gets transformed, and then yeah, basically the smoke around it as well looks really cool there for the first part of the conveyor. Next up, we have another video right here which shows off a little bit more of the conveyor. So you can see again here with the mold as it moves on to, I think this will be the quality, as some lasers are coming down now to kind of like cut it all up, which looks really cool. You can see another one spawning in there as well. It then moves on to the next one, and this is where you can see the actual class screen. So that little leak we saw before is actually to do with the conveyor, and basically it shows you what it can potentially become. So as you can see there, class confirmed considerable, 92% confidence, and then it'll move on. So that basically shows you exactly what class it actually got from that specific part, which is really cool. I believe this will then be the leveler, as you can see as some fire comes down for that one. Next up, we have definitely the enchanter, as it basically rains down all these different enchants in the rainbow and stuff like that. Looks really cool again. And then finally we have, I believe this will be the rarity, which I can't remember, or the appraiser, that's what it's called. Looks absolutely insane, by the way. We have some sort of like energy matter ball up here, which is then firing down the appraisal of this specific version. As we just quickly go back, you can see it's kind of like this rainbow thing again, and it pops out. It has a purple little glow on it. Maybe that could link to it being a an epic potentially. But yeah, again, of course, then that would basically teleport into either your bank or your cell station pretty much. And yeah, you can see on the left is here as well. We do actually have a look at some other of the orbs as well. Potentially a diamond, a ruby, maybe like an emerald or a uranium. And of course the gold one again right there. Looks really cool. But yeah, overall it's just insane. And you can see again, we can actually go inside of it as well, as this diamond one potentially is being made right now. Again, these animations are super cool. The fire on there as well looks insane with the little arms. And of course you get the magic, and even inside, things that you usually wouldn't see unless you actually kind of go up close to it. You can see right here as well, this like kind of like how the enchanter works with these rainbow lights on top as well. Looks really cool. And again with this spinning thing as well for the appraiser, looks absolutely insane. And you can see that one comes out of like kind of like a little silvery colour, but again super cool leak there for the full length of the conveyor. Now next up, we actually have a look at some of the orbs right here, and I do believe this is basically how you'll see the information for each orb. So basically when they're on the ground like this, of course usually you would kind of like have the little box around it, and it'd have all the things on it, like all the information like we saw earlier in the video. However, with this one you can actually see, if you hover over it, maybe when it's in like your bank or your cell station, you can actually see it says it's your core. So maybe if someone else's, it'll probably say, for example, UnoFoggy's core instead of your core. You can see the amount of kills, the rarity and things like that. Of course, it's that one says it's emerald, so the mold or the enchants, the price of it, how quickly it's going to despawn, the chance of it. So again, this is actually kind of like, I think, a little bit better. It keeps the game maybe looking a little bit cleaner instead of having like the big box around it. However, maybe it might be a bit different, of course. maybe we'll still have the box for specific parts of it, maybe when it drops from a boss or something like that. But again, this looks really cool, and you can see it's going to be the same for all of them. So again, really cool leak there of how basically the information is going to work for the orbs. And if you thought we were done there, we are still nowhere near finished. As you can see, this is going to be a look at how the orbs work in terms of damage. Now we have some sort of like animation as you pick them up basically, and you can see you kind of do a little like catch and toss with them basically, as like kind of like you change between them, which is really cool. You can see like these little like nice little animations of the aura coming off of it basically, and this is basically how it works when you actually attack. So if you basically click, as you can see, it does a very small attack. It will just kind of bounce it down once, and that's it. If you click and hold, you can see basically this like kind of like red area. If we can go back hopefully enough, you can see the like red area which kind of maybe shows the impact area of what you're going to be doing, and probably give you more damage as well. And boom, you can see a much bigger area there on the floor as well. Very nice looking kind of like design, the texture as well for the damage. And you can see here, this is really cool. Basically, if you charge it up and you get like kind of like a maximum charge, you can actually see a nice little sparkle that comes off of, or like a little flash that comes off the orb to say that it is maxed and it is ready to be thrown. And you can see, boom, huge smoke, huge kind of like crater thing. And now we're going to have a quick look as well at how this would work against enemies. So again, the one tap basically just kind of like gives them a little bit of a bounce and a little bit of damage as well, but I like the little bounce that they do as well. The medium one, as you can see again, it kind of throws a lot of them more into the air. Some of them did get killed as well, as you can see. Some things did drop off some of them as well, which we'll have to maybe hopefully get a new leak for in the future. And it kind of looks like Sonic rings, to be honest, which looks pretty cool. And again, with the full charge, boom, it gets a big area, sends them all flying, all their body parts go flying around as well. A lot of different drops and stuff as well come off of them. You can see how far a lot of it went as well, which is really cool. So that's going to be basically how the orbs work in terms of damage. And that is going to be it so far for the current leaks that we have for the game. In terms of what we've actually seen right there, it looks insane. I'm very excited to play this game. And right now I know the game has already gotten quite a lot of hype from like the kind of like the core fan base of the previous Sword Factory games. However, if you guys could be very helpful for me, for this project, and for yourselves as well for a new game to play, if you guys go down to the comments or the description and join their Discord server, go ahead and basically just look through the leaks yourself and just be around and ready for when the game releases. This game needs a lot of hype, and I know you guys can give this game a lot of hype. I know there's a lot of you out there as well who used to love the Sword Factory series, so do me a favour, go ahead and join their Discord down below. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.